Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our guided Tarpanam series here during this most powerful, most auspicious time of the year to honor the ancestors. Here at Pillai Center Practice YouTube, my name is Sucharita. For those of you who don't know me, wishing you all a very warm welcome. And thanks so much for joining those of you who have since we started this series of honoring our ancestors on a daily basis in between these power times that we have been participating as a global community, praying for all the souls of all ancestors, known and unknown, who have caused harm in their lifetimes. And now they are in different realms, non-physical realms, spiritual realms, where they may be suffering or they may be moving into high heights and saying, hey, I'm here now on the earth plane. This is the time to honor the ancestors, to celebrate with the ancestors, and get the blessings from all of us, the descendants here, who are awake and are aware that this is what we need to do at this point in time. So welcome, everyone. It's Wednesday, September 29th, 2021. And we have Bhairavi and Arjun on chat, or perhaps Jamie is here on chat as well. Thank you so much for helping out with our fabulous friends here who are coming to find out what this day in this time of honoring the ancestors is all about. So there's about 2 weeks. It depends on the tradition that you study. The Indian tradition that Dr. Pillai hails from is that ancestor time, or Mahalaya time, starts from the first day after the full moon at this time of the year, and it goes until the new moon, which is about 15 days in total. Now, some people honor the ancestors maybe a day more or a day less. That's okay. So according to the Tamil Siddha tradition and to Dr. Pillai, this is how we're doing it here at Pillai Center Practice. So what is this all about? This is honoring the ancestors. And why do we want to do that? Because we owe them. We have a debt to our ancestors, how we came into being in this soul's journey called you in this lifetime, or perhaps many lifetimes. You chose the same gene pool to inherit whatever it is that they wanted to do. And then good or bad, or not so good or not so bad, or anything in between, you are being impacted by the thoughts of the ancestors because your soul needed to get a body. And this body is made up of cells. And these cells inside of each of our cells is DNA. And DNA is the qualities or characteristics, physical manifestations. So we took a look at our nose, we checked out our eyes, maybe we are going to check out our cheekbones today. So where did your cheekbones come from? Yes, it came from your ancestors. And so that is being expressed through your physical form. And then you also have behavioral traits. And that's where it gets tricky, because we can't really see those traits. Although people may say, oh, you're just like your grandfather, you're just like your grandmother, or your great-grandfather, great-grandmother, or aunt or uncle. Ancestors are those who are no more in the physical form. So they are in different realms outside of this physical realm. They're no more here on the earth plane. Although their spirits come, their energy, their beingness comes. And it says, hey, I remember when I had to struggle. So therefore, that's all I know. And because we share those genes, we also share their soul's journey. So as Dr. Pillai has coined the term or educated us about over the years, and there's also a course that you can jump into on Pillai Center Academy and check that out, how to connect with your ancestors, because we share their soul's genes. So soul genetics is something that we want to explore in our lifetime, perhaps for the rest of our lives, because that's what's coming into our thoughts, into our actions, into everything we think, say, do, feel, emotions. It can be behavioral traits such as you start something out in life, maybe education, and partway through, something comes in and disturbs you to complete that educational process. So you just almost get there, but you don't get the degree or the diploma or the technique or whatever it is that you are studying. Or it could be you are working along in a company or for an organization and you never ever get promoted. You have all the skill sets, you have all the good intentions, you are educated, you do everything well, you show up, and you do the work. And others may not even show up, they may not even do the work, but they get all the accolades and they get the promotion and they get the raise and they get all the perks and benefits. So what is up with that? So this is what is happening, is that we are activating, perhaps knowingly or unknowingly, when we tune in to those kinds of thoughts, we can backtrack it or take a look down memory lane for the ancestors, those who have passed away. Maybe they were in business, maybe they were doing something in a job or a company, and then they had messed up somehow. Or it could be a curse that is moving through the maternal side of the family or moving through the paternal side of the family. So the mother's and father's side of the family can be expressing this kind of failure, failure, failure. You have successes up until a certain point, but then you can't break through it. And why? So 10 steps forward, 20 steps backwards. What is up with that? So the ancestors will be pinging us because they are in a realm that is not, they're not able to go into ancestor loca, the location of where the ancestors can benefit, can enjoy while they are evolving in their non-physical form or their spiritual form. So they want to get to heaven. So today is a day where we can honor the ancestors, and particularly there is an energy around every one of these moon phases. So we talked about the 8th moon up until yesterday. So we are in the 9th moon, and the 9th waning moon during Mahalaya is going to give us blessings for opening up support from women. It can also be a good day to perform Tarpanam to remove the sins caused by eating animals as food by us. Now, here we are in the 21st century, and maybe some of us don't belong to the tradition that says, hey, you have to be vegetarian to do any of these rituals. Well, the good news is you're studying with Dr. Pillai, and there are no hard or fast rules. He doesn't say that you have to become a vegetarian. However, if you feel like you have harmed animals or your ancestors harmed animals during their lifetimes, maybe they were farmers, maybe they were, circus performers, and they were training animals and they harmed them. So maybe there was somewhere along the line where the animals cursed those ancestors who did harm them, knowingly or unknowingly. That's just what they did. And so who needs to struggle? We need to pay off that debt. So that is a strange thing to do. And how could we do that? When we're feeding the ancestors this Tarpanam offering, it is something that is going to do it for you. So this is a spiritual technology, and done with a whole heart, sincere thoughts, prayers, intentions, focus, getting the blessings of Dr. Pillai, which you already have, because here you are. You've been guided to come and participate. So you can ask for the forgiveness on behalf of all your ancestors on the mother's side and the father's side of the family. Now, that might be a little overwhelming, and who knows if they did that or not. But somehow you could be carrying that kind of curse or that kind of energy inside of you that won't allow you to have a breakthrough in the various aspects of your life. And you're just like, how is that possible? How do you connect the dots? Or that doesn't even sound reasonable or logical, or I don't believe in any of that. Okay, try it out though. Just as I have, I come from a science medical background where I want to have proof of everything. And then I started studying with Dr. Pillai, and I was like, oh my God, none of this makes sense. So what I want to invite everybody here to do is think about on this day, the 9th waning moon on any month, is a day to honor Lord Yama. And Yama is the god of death. So when at that point where we're going to die, or perhaps we're dying all along, we're born, we die off to ourselves, we've died off completely from being a baby form to a young child form to this form where we are right now. So all our whole being from head to toe, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual being has evolved, and it's died off to its old way of being, thinking, saying, doing, acting, reacting. So the drama of life carries on, but the death process continues to reveal itself every step of the way, knowingly or unknowingly, or maybe you might have that awareness right now. So when we are going to honor this being, this god of death or Lord Yama, this Yama is inside of us, because Yama, as in pranayama, breathing, is that you learn to tune in to a subtler breath, the breath of life, the life force, not just what you breathe in and out. So the pranayama yogic practice is to get in tune with some other energy, some other intelligence, something that enlivens us beyond the air that we breathe in and out. So that's what the Lord Yama will say to you, is that you want to die off to old ways of being without actually being dead. So beforehand, if you can continue to do the Tarpanam every day hereafter for the rest of your life, just like you would brush your teeth or take a shower every day or eat every day or drink water or some fluid every day to keep this body alive, to enliven the soul, to cleanse the karmas that you have inherited either from the maternal side of the family or paternal side of the family, especially as it relates to females, particularly today during Mahalaya. So we're going to bring in that theme or those thoughts that might have already been pinging you already. Maybe you have females who have passed away in your lineage. And remember, your ancestors are not only those who are you are biologically related to, because some of us have been adopted or we've been given away to other people and we've been estranged from our biological gene pool, our family gene pool. And that's just what our soul wanted to do. So that's why Dr. Pillai shares that soul genetics, you're connected to that gene pool that you jumped into in this lifetime and perhaps many lifetimes. And you're doing it again, trying to erase the sins of the father or the forefathers or the foremothers or the mothers. So don't get too caught up in gender. It is all about what is happening inside of you. We're on the dark side of the moon at this time where you get to go inside and you get to die off to old ways, put them to rest, let them rest in peace, those old ways of being, so that you can have more harmony in life, more balance in life. You can feel the life energy, the prana, yama, breathing, moving through you, the energy that is going to guide you and say, you know what? You focus on your spiritual practices, you focus on your mantras, your meditations, you honor your ancestors, and you will reap the benefits. Most of us on the spiritual path didn't know about this technology. We didn't know that we had to honor the ancestors every day. So doing this really super fast practice, putting it into our everyday life, after sunrise, sometime before sunset, during daylight hours, wherever you are in the world, take a shower or wash your face, wash your hands, brush your teeth at least. That's the prep. So you get into a preparatory mode, you face south direction or southwest direction according to Dr. Pillai, Tamil Siddha tradition, or you can face east. Some people say, well, I come from a different religious or cultural tradition and our culture faces north or west or northwest or northeast or southwest or southeast or south, whatever direction tickles your fancy, do it. it is most important for you to connect with the energy inside of you that is going to cleanse the sins, the mistakes. Remember, a sin is a mistake. You mistook it. You didn't know. You miss the, Dr. Ply says you missed the mark. So you had a target to be uh, prosperous, to be a good person, to do your spiritual practices, to be charitable, to be happy and healthy and wealthy and wise. And lifetime after lifetime, it just didn't happen. So somewhere along the way, you mistook it, you made mistakes, you missed the target. And so what? Right until this point in time where you're showing up as a soul encased in this human form, being something or another, carrying some sin, some heavy duty stuff, and you want to get rid of it now. So, this is the blessing that you're in the right place, the right time. You're thinking, you're saying, and you're doing the right thing. You may not know what the outcome is going to be, but it's going to cleanse you deeply. So Dr. Ply's asked us to come and help you out, help you to understand and have an experience. You can read about this or not. You can be studying under masters or gurus or priests or nuns or monks, siddhas, saints, sages. You can have a connection to those gurus or those masters or those teachers or those divine beings, gods, goddesses on the other side, but they too are coming to deliver some hard karmas. They need you to repay the debt in some other lifetime, except you couldn't do it back then, or in the future, you're doing it now. So we don't know. The soul is super, super intelligent. It can get it all done in an instant, in a blink of an eye. That would be a miracle, right? So we want to remove as much karma as we can, as much sin, so that we don't miss the mark. Everything that we do we will reap the benefits. We will have been getting the blessings from our ancestors, those who have gone before us. Knowingly or unknowingly, they committed sins, we committed sins, we all missed the mark, and this is the time to make it up, to get a fresh, clean slate. So the god of death, Lord Yama, is really, really happy that you're here, or that you're going to be watching this later on and then doing your Tarpanam practice. It won't matter if the moon phase has passed by. We've captured it, or we are capturing it. And with Dr. Ply's grace and blessings, this is the timestamp. So we've asked that each and every one of you participate wholeheartedly, and then you focus on your intention. So whatever you want to give up, you want to die off. Maybe it might be thoughts of poverty consciousness or money is evil. Get rid of that. Crush it. Just say enough is enough. Or you may have inherited cancer or diabetes or arthritis or anything that is disease of the body, disease. And you're out of balance and you're wondering, I'm a healthy person. Why did I all of a sudden get this diagnosis? And why do I have to suffer from this? Or it can be mental illness or mental dis-ease. You're anxious. I know so many people who have high anxiety that it's so debilitating. They can't sleep, they can't eat, they can't focus. And yet they are so educated academically, they understand about common sense, yet there's this anxiety that races their heart and causes them to have high blood pressure and they pass out. They can't even cope with everyday life. So, why is that? Well, perhaps the ancestors are suffering. They're hanging upside down, as Dr. Ply says. Maybe they are on the verge. The person is on the verge of suicidal thoughts because their ancestors committed suicide in their lifetimes. Or perhaps they are, as we've spoke about, miscarried souls, so babies who were not born. in the lineages, or they, for whatever reason, they were aborted, for whatever reason, they were stillborn, for whatever reason, they died early. So this whole theme, or this topic, or this consciousness, the quality of this time space continuum vortex that you're tapping into right now, is to explore all the possibilities that you may have inherited, or you yourself have experienced any of these things related to death. So, not to stress you out or worry you anymore, this is a time to honor the ancestors and say, I get it. I don't know how this is going to ever get balanced out, but I'm going to start to pray to you. I'm going to start to implement this in everyday life, and then pray for those souls who have died before their time, meaning that they didn't get to live a full life until the body was aging, decaying, and finally died off. And then the soul was released. So, whether you believe in reincarnation or not, or any of this, I invite you to try this out. Because for me, coming from a background of cause and effect, and I want to see the results, and this has to make sense. It has. Over 25 years, everything has transformed in my life, including addictions through the family lineage, any kind of addictions, mental illness, suicide, uh, problems in the body, disease, cancers, diabetes, arthritis, those long standing, chronic, painful breaking down of the body mind that has been inherited by my generation now has stopped. So it's not, that's what we want to do. We want to stop it at our generation. And perhaps you are going to be that hero in your gene pool, that now you have something to do. So you can participate in this as a daily practice. And then you can also check out the services that are offered through Pillai Center Astrovet during this time of the year. The links are below and they're shared on the chat. And you may have read about it or watched other YouTubes about it from Dr. Pillai or other Pillai Center teachers that we have done over the years and shared with you. It's so, so important. None of your spiritual practices will benefit you until you honor the ancestors. And this is the best time, so you don't blink and miss it. Because every day after Mahalaya, it can be, the energy can be toned down. They are going to leave the earth plane. So they're all coming to the earth plane. And this is a plane of existence where rituals can be done more than anywhere on any other realm. They can't be done like they can be done here and get the benefits and the blessings. So this is the science and technology that has been passed down for thousands and thousands of years and kept secret. So when this is the time now where no more secrets, we are going to be totally transparent, and we need to, honor everyone's tradition. So if you have certain practices that you want to inquire about, or maybe you start to explore cemeteries where your ancestors are now laid to rest, or perhaps they went away in the spreading of ashes, their ashes in different places. You might want to go to that place and meditate, and also pray for their spirits. And if you can't, you don't know anything about your lineage, maybe you'll start to explore that. Maybe you'll have conversations that come out of nowhere. Maybe you'll have dreams about death and crazy places, hellish places. Don't be worried about it. It's saying, hey, you are tuned in now, and you realize how important it is to remove the suffering of the ancestors, the spirits or the souls of the ancestors, that you share their genes. So the suffering that you see in your life, whether it's financial suffering, relationship suffering, family issues, issues with your kids, you did your best to raise them, and all of a sudden they don't want to talk to you anymore. Or you yourself may be struggling to get a home or a car or all the comforts in life because you had ancestors who were wanderers. They were maybe struggling and suffering. Their family disowned them, or they were distanced from them. physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and they didn't know. Just like I found out that I had an uncle who passed away in a park, and he was an addict, and he didn't want to have anything to do with the family, although his soul was very restless, until I started to explore the year-long Tarpanam program, where all the services were done on my behalf. And his name was added to those services so that his soul can be at peace and at rest, just as my mother, who was schizophrenic, her soul is at rest. And I'm getting all kinds of messages from the Vedic astrologers that have coached me over the years, and they can see in, their third eye is open, and they say, I'm praying for your mom and your lineage all the time, especially during this time of the ancestors. So that's what happens. You get an invitation to get into the spirit, the realm of the ancestors. And until you get the blessings of the ancestors, all your spiritual practices, all your material pursuits will not give you full 100% life on either side. So as Dr. Pillai has shared, this is a 200% life, a pathway to live your life 200%. So 100% spiritual, 100% material pursuits need to be taken care of. And you're the one who's going to decide how that's going to happen. So we're going to think about what you want to die off today, about yourself and about your lineage. Maybe it's addictions. You want that to be removed. A big chunk of that sin, you want that debt to be repaid. So you're going to offer the ancestor Tarpanam to your ancestors to get rid of any kind of addiction. So it can be sex addictions, it can be alcohol, drug, it can be a shopping addiction, or it can be you're addicted to chaos, you're addicted to toxic relationships. So whatever it is that is going on in your life, it can be that your ancestors have suffered some way, or they were cursed by others. They've got evil eye. People are looking at them with jealousy or envy, and they've cursed the lineage so that it's hard to remove that. It can be outside of your gene pool, that they have cursed your name, your ancestors' names. So you can explore that. And you don't have to think very hard. Just look in all the areas of your life: finances, health, relationships, work, career, business, kids, family. How many of us have had bickering and fighting and differences of opinion such that you don't want to talk to each other anymore? There's so much pain of the past, and some of your the descendants here, including yourself, cannot get along because you just look in the lineage, nobody got along, or very many people did, or how they did get along was a lot of screaming and yelling and harm. So we want that vicious cycle to stop. We want to kill it off, or allow it to die off, with the grace and blessings of the Lord Yama today. And also the blessings, you want to look for blessings in your life, especially relating to women. So it can be brothers, or it can be mothers, daughters, sisters, brothers, sisters. It can be anyone that you work with. So females can also be a feminine energy. So we don't want to get too caught up with gender. And I'm just catching myself now, because in the beginning, way back, when we came to the earth plane, we were both equally balanced. And then we had the story of Adam and Eve. Then that's when it all kind of went sideways. So we don't want to get too much into that, but just know that perhaps even yourself, you want to ask yourself for that feminine energy, that creative, that nurturing force, that harmonious force, that all forgiving, unconditionally loving force, all protecting, like a mother would a child who was suffering, will do anything to end the suffering. And some of us have not had fabulous lives and upbringings. So we can nurture ourselves through this, asking the Lord Yama to bless us with this nurturing energy, and maybe perhaps give us that ability to forgive ourselves and forgive others. So these are really sensitive, hot topics, and they can be triggering you. And that's a good sign, because pain is a good indicator that there's something just not right, not feeling the love. So it won't matter how many mantras you chant, how many prayers you do, how many meditations, what you do as far as rituals go outside of Tarpanam. You're going to get the return on your investment of time and energy and money and all your emotions and everything else, all your spiritual pursuits, all your charitable good deeds. But get the blessings from your ancestors first and foremost. And the god Yama has them all lined up and is saying, all right, you, Mary, Joe, Shiva, Lakshmi, whoever you are out there, you can be asking Lord Yama to free those ancestors, even if they were the world's worst ancestors and you heard the world's worst stories about them. You share their genes. So you got to be able to love that. You've got to be able to forgive that inside of you. Otherwise, it will just persist. And we know all about weeds in the garden, right? They just pop up everywhere and they choke out all the good things. So we want to get to the root of those karmic bad seeds, if you will, or misseeds, misdoings, the misdeed seeds, and root it out, rip it out. How do we do it? With the Tarpanam and your intention. So our intention is to ask Lord Yama to die off, to kill off all that we've inherited that is no longer serving us. And that will be our debt that we pay through this Tarpanam offering. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to move away and you're going to see an altar here with everything that you may need during this Mahalaya, this time period, to honor the ancestors. And you can explore it thereafter. That's why we keep reviewing it, because repetition is key. We'll be like, what did she say? What? Oh no, I don't have time to review the other recordings, which I do highly recommend, because they were fabulous teachings. Not because I was there saying it, it was coming through at that time. Perfect timing for the topic that we had shared during those power times. Of course, it's all through the grace and blessings of Dr. Pillai. So without further ado, gonna get going. Here we go. So if you have your Tarpanam at home, you can do that. If you are in a place where it is beyond daylight hours, either before sunrise or after sunset, then it might be a good idea. You can just watch along and then do your Tarpanam afterwards. So what we've got here is, all you really need is a bowl. So you're going to take a bowl, or you might be over the sink. So we're going to have that bowl off to the side. And then you just need black sesame seeds. That is the key to Tarpanam. So this is the main ingredient. And why that is because sesame seed has the ability to remove stubborn karma. It's also associated with Lord Saturn, who delivers stubborn karma. And because Lord Saturn delivers things for a long time, like your whole lifetime, he's the god of Dharma, and he's also the brother of Lord Yama. So it kind of makes sense that those two guys are together saying, hey, we got to get them on a spiritual path. Give them something to do that is going to honor us so we can do our job and get the blessings going to their ancestors, who then can return and bless them. So sesame seed is the main currency, the main food item, the main thing that will satisfy the ancestors' souls. So if you have that, that is number one. If you have beige or white sesame seeds, that's okay too. Although try to find out where you can get the sesame seeds, in the black sesame seeds. So we also can add white rice powder or flour. So that's what that looks like. And then you can put a little small amount, as you're going to see shortly. So if you don't have white rice flour powder, you can use some white rice grains. Doesn't matter what type of rice. Can be cooked or uncooked. Uncooked is super easy. And although if you want to do the cooked, you can too. So then you can have a coin. That's the next thing, any denomination. any type. It can be gold, it can be silver, it can be anything. So as long as you have a coin, that is going to help the whole process to go super smooth. So you would kind of have this mixture here of black sesame seeds and white rice powder minimum or white rice grains. And then you take your coin and you'll see how to do that. So if you have darba grass, you can cut it up into little bit-sized pieces like that, bite-sized pieces. Not that you're going to eat it, but your ancestors will. Now, this is darba grass that has been cut up into about, 4 to 6 inch pieces. It comes in about 18 inches, so about 1.5 feet. And you can hear it. It's dried and it's hard and it's firm. Now, I want you to know that the ancestors love this. It's called darba, DHARBA. Now, people can confuse it with durva. So durva is Ganesha grass, and you can see it's quite fine, feathery. It also comes in longer pieces. It's been cut up, it's been dried out. But here's the difference. So we have, this is what we're going to offer to Ganesha to get things going today. And then this is what we're going to offer in small bits and pieces to the ancestors. So you can see the difference. Durva or Bermuda grass or Ganesha grass. Darba, ancestor. So Durva, Darba. All right. So now that we've got that sorted out, those are some of the things that you want to offer as your Tarpanam to your ancestors. Now we can get into it a little bit more. We can offer some, let's do some, this is called sacred basil or tulsi, and it's either dried or fresh. So you can have that and put, crush it up into little bits, or you can have it fresh and then offer that. Especially in our next session, we're going to honor Lord Vishnu. So come to that session. He's the god of the ancestors. So this is a dried out piece of bilva leaf, and bilva or vilva leaf is for Lord Shiva, honoring Lord Shiva, to get rid of all our stubborn karmas that the ancestors cannot do. So when we offer it on their behalf, they get blessed, the debt is paid. And this is what it looks like, a little bit chopped up. If you have fresh, that's awesome. Dr. Pillai said you can use the dried out leaves, and then the essence of these offerings is what we want to get to. So this is sandalwood powder, any type quality you can use, and we honor the ancestors by giving that as well. And then turmeric is a healer. You can Google it. It has so many healing properties. It also gives wealth. So wealth, health, happiness, joy to the ancestors so they can bless you. So what is it? You can also offer a little bit of flower, like a flower petal, can be fresh. Better to be fresh than to be dried out in this case. So this is kind of what it looks like if we mix it all up. So we've got you can see the color is in there, the yellows. You can see the different herbs. You can see there's the coin in there and all the black sesame seeds and so on. So that's what it looks like all mixed up. And if you got the coin in there already and you put it in this waterproof container, and then so when you jump out of your shower, or even while you're in the shower, you can take a small amount, and you're going to see how small that amount is. And you are going to do the Tarpanam as you've just taken the shower or as soon as you step out. Now, some people like to have it at the kitchen sink, where I like to have it too. I like to be out of the bathroom for some strange reason. I don't want to do it during in the bathroom. And also it can clog your drains. So drain catchers in the kitchen for me. And then I can get rid of or just discard anything that doesn't go, that gets caught in the drain catcher, including the coin. And so you can reuse the coin. You can discard the leftover items after your Tarpanam. When you catch it in the drain catcher, you can just discard it in your garden. You can even throw it in the trash. Some people do it by the river, by the ocean, by a stream, especially during Mahalaya. They do it multiple times. So we're going to do it a couple of times, honoring the mother side of the family, the father side of the family, and about 6 generations, because those are really the ancestors who are impacting you. If you've been working with Tarpanam for some time, whatever generation you're at, fabulous. Go for it. So then the other item you need, of course, is water. It can be tap water, it can be fresh spring water that you didn't drink out of this bottle. This bottle wasn't, nobody drank out of it. So it's fresh. All right. So now we've said all that. Let's get into how we're going to open up this ritual. So this is something that you can participate in, watching it or doing it as well. And you can be honoring yourself and thanking yourself first and foremost for being here. Now feel the energy inside of you. So you don't want to just watch this for entertainment. So this ritual will enrich you. It will enliven your body, your mind, your soul. You may not understand on an intellectual level what's happening. Everything is shifting as per the grace and blessings of Dr. Pillai. So we will get into a state of receptivity. So you can be closing your eyes and putting your attention internally. You can be focusing on your pelvic region. So the root chakra is at the tailbone. The sex center is just up from there. And then the navel chakra, which is in the abdomen or the belly button. So right in that whole area is your area of creation. It's how you came to be in your mother's womb. So you can put that attentional energy and start to cleanse, even moving backwards into your own memory of who you were as you were conceived, and then you started to create the life through being a baby, through being a young child, through being a young adult, and up until you are right now, or anywhere in between. Feel the connection to that which has died off and is being recreated every moment through the life force, the prana yama. So we'll call on Ganesha to remove the obstacles. We're going to offer this Bermuda grass or Ganesha grass or Durva grass with a V. Durva. Durva. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Nirvignam Kuru Kuru. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Nirvignam Kuru Kuru. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Nirvignam Kuru Kuru. We'll ask that all obstacles be removed for you to experience success in this ritual. You have some experience. Something is happening, some message connecting you to your ancestors, feeling the relief from their spirits or souls and the relief inside of you. We'll call on Dr. Pillai to bless the whole process, to awaken your soul so that you can connect with your ancestors, connecting with Lord Yama, getting rid of sins of the past and moving forward with grace and ease. Focus your attention on the backbone, and you have a ray of light shooting up the backbone, activating all the chakras. This is pranayama breathing without doing anything with your the breathing that you do with your breath, air in and out. There is the life force, the prana, that is going to help to dissolve away or dissipate any energy that needs to die off. Old ways of being, disease, debt, consciousness, any suffering, any pain that you've inherited is going to die away with your attentional energy to your backbone, with a ray of light piercing all the chakras, the psycho-spiritual centers. And this ray of light shoots up through your brain, through the top of your skull, and goes into the space. And with Dr. Pillai appearing before you in a form you're familiar with, or a vast light radiating trillions of rays of light into you, very subtle rays of light piercing your DNA, dissolving away that which has been inherited by you through your gene pool. Soak up this spiritual energy, the blessings, the karma busting qualities of the light coming from Dr. Pillai into your eyes, into your ears, piercing your eardrums. The light gets inside your head. The light shoots up your nostrils, cleanses the prana in the nostrils, the energy, the life force. A beam of light enters your tongue, pierces the tip of your tongue, middle of your tongue, back of your tongue, and the throat, where the stubborn karma is stored, gets diffused away. And a beam of light enters your forehead, piercing your pituitary, your pineal gland, getting into the middle of your brain, the third eye, pineal breathing. The third eye opens up. It's a portal to connect you to the spiritual realms, the realm of the ancestors, gods, goddesses, divine beings. Lord Yama, the god of death, who has your ancestors lined up. And because of your attention, your sincerity, your forgiving heart, they can be relieved of their sins and move into higher realms so quickly. Zing, 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 zing. They're gone. A ray of light enters the top of your skull, coming from the heavens, the blessings from the ancestors, reactivating your brain cells that tell the rest of the body what to do now that they are relieved of the sins. Instantaneous blessings are being pumped into your brain, your body, your DNA. Om Dram Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha. Om Dram Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha. Om Dram Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha. Now, slowly, slowly come back to yourselves and open your eyes. Now that you have the blessings of the spiritual master, of your ancestors moving through you, now they're here. We need them to take the offering. So you're going to face the south, southwest, or east. or whatever direction suits you today. Your right hand is going to be over the bowl. We'll take a little bit of water and pour it over the right hand to wash it away. Putting your right hand out, you're going to take a coin, any denomination, any type. And then, because we will be honoring the ancestors with the big mixture of everything, you can do that too as well along with us. We're going to take a little bit more than we usually do. So you can take a small coin sized amount, but we're going to offer this amount today. We'll take a little bit more of the sesame seeds and maybe some flour. So think about anything that you want to die off today. Think about your maternal side of the family, the mother's side of the family. Known or unknown ancestors. So anyone you know or anyone you don't know, you don't have to say their name or even think about them. It's 6 generations on the mother's side of the family. You can take a little bit of the water and pour it over the mixture. And then the left hand can come under the right hand over the bowl. And you can either be with your eyes open, where you can be focusing more on your third eye. So more of your attention is going into the middle of your brain. And you're feeling the prana, the breath, the life force. So pray for the ancestors on the mother's side of the family, the maternal side of the family, about 6 generations back before you. Ask that they be relieved of all the suffering they endured, all the mistakes that they made. Ask them to accept this offering as a payment of the debt owed for you to come as a soul into their lineage. So you have that was the vehicle. And now you can repay that and repay the debt of their sins, their mistakes. Both are forgiven on either side. You and your mother's ancestors. Pray, especially for blessings from the women. Feel it in your body. Feel disease leaving you. In your mind, anxiety, stress, upset, depression, whatever it is, anger. Feel connected to the breath, the life energy. In Dr. Pillai's name, allow this offering to be accepted and to remove you from all the suffering and the ancestors' suffering and receive the blessings. Pour the water slowly and with your attentional energy into the bowl. You're not thinking about anything else other than all the sins, the mistakes, the suffering, the pain being washed away. Mental pain, financial pain, physical pain, relationship pain, spiritual pain. Wash it away. And take a breath and pause and maybe close your eyes and thank your soul for being able to do something for 6 generations at least on your mother's side of the family. And then you can dry your hand off if you'd like, or you can continue on. Now, open your eyes, right hand over the bowl. With all your body, mind, and soul, you can focus on this Tarpanam offering. So you've got it in your right hand, put the coin there. I'm going to add a little bit more. Just for today. And we're going to ask for blessings from the ancestors on 6 generations on the father's side of the family. Taking the water, pouring it on top a little bit. Left hand under, and pray. Tune in to those ancestors, 6 generations at least on the father's side of the family who committed mistakes or sins, caused suffering to themselves or others, especially those who are trapped to be released. Pray to Lord Yama to release them in Dr. Pillai's name. So let it be. Because this is a spiritual tool that will remove the stubborn karmas you've inherited, knowingly or unknowingly. So 6 generations of known and unknown ancestors on your father's side of the family. Tune in to how it feels in your hand, in your body. Feel the energy connecting to the prana, the life force inside of you that gives you the grace, you the blessings to do this. For Lord Yama to forgive, release them, and they bless you. And once the prayer has been completed, you can pour the water over the offering. The coin is going to drop into the bowl or into the sink along with the other items. But do things with total awareness, total forgiveness for not knowing to do this. Forgive yourself, forgive others. Ask for the blessings of the ancestors. And then when you want to pour this out into the garden, you can take the coin. I think there's another one in here too. So you're doing everything with total awareness, total attention. Now that you've done that and you've washed it all away, and you've dried off your hand, if you'd like to do that, I would, because it's too close to my computer. And now, pray. So bring your hands in prayer. And if you'd like, you can tilt your head forward and touch your fingertips to your forehead, right at the spot between your 2 eyebrows. And activate your third eye or your God, connection to God. So pray deeply for this ritual to be a success through Dr. Pillai's grace and blessings. 6 generations on your mother's side of the family, 6 generations on your father's side of the family have been relieved of suffering. The ancestors are now moving into higher realms, free of that pain, the suffering caused to themselves and others and to yourself. And as they move into the light, and are at peace, instantaneously the blessings will be there for you to receive. So pray. Pray for something specific that you want to get rid of. You want it to die off. So addictions or disease of the body, mind, poverty consciousness, scarcity consciousness, not being good enough, not being having enough, having enough people or support or friends or food or shelter, clothing, whatever it is. Allow it to die off. And then you ask for blessings of prosperity, enlightenment, joy, happiness, health, and well-being, beautiful relationships, harmony. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to the body, peace to the mind, peace to the soul, peace to the environment, peace to the whole world, peace to the realm of the ancestors, peace to Lord Yama, the god of death, so that he can release the ancestors and they will bless us immediately as they're released into the realms where they can bless us. In Dr. Pillai's name, Om Dram Dattatreya Shiva Baba. Let it be done. Then when you can just take this and put it in the garden, as I mentioned, or you can pour it down the drain. Make sure you have a drain catcher. I'm just going to move it off to the side. Hello. How was it? You're very welcome, Nathaniel. Thank you so much. Evelyn is saying thank you. Beautiful. Oh, good. It's Bhairavi who's here today. Awesome. Pray for this ritual to be successful with Dr. Pillai's grace and blessings. That's it. So it's really great when we are coming together as a global community, because not always do we feel this energy if we're doing it on our own. I certainly am feeling the tremendous blessings. So our souls are saying, hey, we can do something as a global community. You can also take it to the next level. If you've been doing the Tarpanam for some time and you want to pray for the world, you can do that. It's a big energy. So it's not that you can't. If you'd like to, you can, and just see what happens to you and to your experience. So some people might have some pain that has come up or some deep-seated memories or emotions. So we always share with everyone, be kind to yourself, love yourself first and foremost. Make sure that you get lots of water, stay hydrated. If you need to rest or detach from everyday life, such as, gossiping or watching TV or doing mundane things, that you're going to kind of space out, because your ancestors are pinging you. So even if you don't do the Tarpanam, as in this ritual, hour after hour, some people do it hour after hour throughout the daylight hours, because they really are taking advantage of this Mahalaya time, this time of the ancestors, because this is where they're coming in. And so they want to keep praying and making sure that they can do this simple offering as much as possible throughout this Mahalaya period, this Mahalaya Paksha. Paksha means either side of the moon phase. So there's 15 moon phases on the waning side of the moon, and 15 moon phases on the waxing side of the moon. That's what makes up our month. So this Paksha, this dark side of the moon, during this ancestor time, at this time of the year, is where you will really feel it and honor the ancestors. So you can do multiple times throughout the day. You can do 108. Some people are doing 108 offerings right in a row. Now that takes some time. However, they've really experienced shifts in all aspects of their life. So you experiment with whatever it is for you and what you're able to do at this point in time. If you do it wholeheartedly, whether you do it 108 times or 1,000,008 or one time, it can be just as powerful. So the group consciousness today is super, super awesome. And we have all of you to thank and those people who will be watching this hereafter, because it is an energy that has been captured and you can tap into that and then experience the shift in the consciousness and then the blessings coming from the ancestors. Collectively, we've done something for the whole world because that's what Dr. Pillai is committed to. And if you're a student of Dr. Pillai's, whether this is your very first time or whether you've been around or coming or going, he's guiding your soul to be in the right place at the right time. So power time is that time where you will be empowered, you will be enriched, and your soul will be enlivened. So this is a karma busting technique for those people who love that term. I just got rid of a lot of karma. Lord Yama loves it. So you can die off to your old ways, your old behaviors, your old habits. Maybe you'll start to think about eating more nutritious food or eating with a more conscious awareness. Is this good for me? Or am I just doing it because I inherited it from my ancestors or whatever you're taking in, substances that maybe are not supporting you or causing ill health or anxiety and so on. Not that there is any judgment. It's just that you start to ask yourself, whoa, I may be doing this because I inherited it knowingly or unknowingly, and I want to get rid of it now. So this will help you to detach from that. So you're very welcome. Nasha is saying thank you. Instante Creative is saying thank you, Dr. Pillai and the Pillai Center team for the ritual. I love you. Blessings, lots of light and energy. And that's what we want to do is we want to come and do these things because our karma is weighing us down. And so we want to figure out how to get a little bit of light or feel a little bit lighter after doing this. So try it out. As I mentioned in previous recordings, Dr. Pillai asked us many, many years ago when I first started doing the Tarpanam every day, he said, do this every hour. And it was intense. It was super intense. I had pounding headache. My body ached. It was as if there was a battle going on inside of me that I didn't know which side was up. I don't know, the good or the bad or the ugly or the fabulous. It was just so much going on. So I couldn't blink and miss it. It is for real. Back then it was super, super obvious. Now, over the years, after participating in the year-long Tarpanam, which I recommend that anyone who is interested in wiping out anything that has been disturbing your lineage, that you just have tried everything and everyone in your lineage has tried in this generation or the generation before that is still here. So any of your descendants, including yourself, you've tried everything. Therapy, counseling, advisory, everything that you've tried has not yet been able to relieve you guys, your gene pool, of the calamities and all the problems that you have been facing. So the god of death is saying, hey, what do you want to die off to? So that is something that you could explore or participate, at least for now, if you can, in the new moon service that is coming up. So that's the culmination of this Mahalaya, or the time of the ancestors during this time of the year, this 2-week period, plus minus a day. So it's coming up and we're going to be here together as well. So we'll be doing something. But if you can and it fits into your budget, do it, because we'll have to wait 365 days until we can revisit this time. So throughout this whole year, you will get tremendous blessings by getting into ancestor realm during the new moon, and then those sins are forgiven. And I've shared too that I thought, oh, how am I ever going to do this? And the money just showed up because I really prayed to the ancestors. And so somehow that's how it started. And then I've been doing it ever since, the year-long program, ever since it's been offered. And then Mahalaya is included every year. So it's a really great thing to do to honor the ancestors, to get your blessings for both material pursuits and your spiritual pursuits. There are other times of the year, other powerful new moons, time Amavasya, Adi Amavasya, and then also Masimaga, Lobatsa, usually associated with a full moon and Maga star. But we're always going to be sharing with you during Power Time practice that of these time periods where you can honor the ancestors. So it may not be now, just like it wasn't for me back then. I was crying, I didn't have enough money and I couldn't participate, but I did my daily practice, and then the money started coming. And then every month, it's like a bill that I pay, a debt I pay. And I'll pay it for the rest of my life because it is making the biggest difference, both spiritually and materially. So we can't talk about this unless we do it ourselves, unless you experience it yourself. And we've heard from so many of you, especially during this Mahalaya Paksha, and we're doing these guided Tarpanam practices together. Many of you have been sharing with me, sending emails. You can do that too, office@applycenter.com, or to me, Sucharita@applycenter.com. And you've been sharing your insights and how now you realize how important it is, how the ancestors are impacting your life. Even if you've been studying with Dr. Pillai for a long time, it's really something just cracks through, breaks through that resistance to understand deep, deep, deep how they are impacting you, and how the best thing is you can come out of it. So thanks for sharing. And then thanks for letting us know that you're going to be on the year-long journey honoring the ancestors through the services that are offered through Apply Center or Ashravet. And then let us know how it goes and all the insights and all the breakthroughs and all the fabulous blessings that you're going to be getting. Because we don't want to just do spiritual practices and then hope it all works out. We want to pray every day. Okay, I'm getting this done for my ancestral lineage. And as I do my chanting practices or my meditations or my prayers, or I go to temple, mosque, or church, or nature, or spiritual vortex, the ancestors inside of me are getting cleansed at the level of the DNA. And then check out Soul Genetics, the program. I think the link is below, or maybe Bhairavi has posted it to the chat today, is offered through Apply Center Academy. And that's how you will get initiated into the lineage with Dr. Pillai's teachings. So it's a course that Dr. Pillai gives you meditations and gives you initiation practices to do, including the Tarpanam. You'll see it there. And other ways in which you can learn how to honor your ancestors and get your soul genetics cleansed. So with that, please we're going to wrap it up. So do this Tarpanam at home, especially today, because we're at the halfway point, the midway point. And this is the day to honor Lord Yama, the god of death, and then also to get blessings from females in your life. So, or have that nurturing quality be there to love and support you unconditionally. And then you will feel the love and the support coming from your ancestors as well, regardless of the gender. So don't get too caught up in male, female. It can be a feminine energy, a creative energy, a nurturing energy. Can be coming through males as well. So you might experience more harmony and more love and joy and happiness, even through the tough times. So thanks, everyone. God bless you all. Thank you so much, Bhairavi, and anyone else who is here. Maybe Jamie, you're here. And also Arjun, thank you so much for supporting everybody here on the chat. If you have any questions, send them into office@applycenter.com, Sucharita@applycenter.com, or I'll grab the questions from this chat today and respond to them when we meet again on the 11th moon, a couple of days from now. And please come. And if you have Tulsi or sacred basil, then you can add that to your Tarpanam mix, because that will be the day to connect with Lord Vishnu. And he is the one who protects the ancestors' realm, the ancestral Pitruloka. And that we'll share more about. and he's all about getting money miracles. So you never know if your Tarpanam, if your ancestors take the Tarpanam and you're there at the right place at the right time doing it, even if you don't have the items to offer, or you can't because it's non-daylight hours, you're still going to get the blessings. So come and enjoy, and then you never know, you might get a money miracle thereafter. So with that, thanks to Dr. Pillai for guiding us all to be here. And then have a wonderful evening, rest of your day or evening, wherever you are in the world. We'll see you in a couple of days. Namaste.